And welcome back to What If. We're starting a new What If. Now, whether or not I go into multiple parts of this one, we'll find out. I know how it's going to kind of lay out. I'm just wondering if it's going to be able to be crammed in one video. This one comes to us from Lawrence Barber, and you asked the question, and it's not the same question a lot of other people ask me with Goku. Not about whether he was the same race as Frieza, but what if he progressed like Frieza did? Now, what does that mean? Well, with Frieza's not a martial artist. In fact, Frieza's race isn't actually all that powerful. They're known as Frost Demons, I believe. I don't think they're actually ever in canon or in the series know the name of his race, but I believe like the creators call them the Frost Demons. That's why it's like King Cold, King Chill, Frieza, Cooler, Frost, so forth and so on. But there's nothing actually special about the race specifically. They're no stronger than, say, like a Namekian or a human or anything like that. Like, theoretically, the Saiyans are probably even stronger than them as a whole. But between like his dad, his brother, Cooler, basically Frieza's actually considered a prodigy. He's just naturally that powerful. And he never had to train a day in his life. He was just naturally that strong. Same with his father, same with his brother. But when we get to the Resurrection F arc, he even says, I never had this training. This is nothing I need. And that's when he started training for the first time in his life, got that much stronger, and activated Golden Frieza. Well, the question is, what if Goku progressed similar to Frieza? Now, this isn't the same question as what if Goku was as strong as Frieza at the start and then progressed like him. No. Goku still is the same strength he is. But what if he progressed like Frieza? What if when training and actually, putting the effort in, his power grew that much, by that many leaps and bounds? Now, first off, we need to know how much of a boost would Goku get from training, and B, where would that put him? Because we don't actually... Frieza theorized, and we have no basis of information to prove that he actually got there or beyond. He probably went far beyond, if we're going to be honest. Claimed that he get his power above like 1 million in just his base form alone. Which, great, that's wonderful. But you one-shotted the Super Saiyan Gohan. If you're going to tell me that Gohan had gotten so weak that his Super Saiyan form was less than 1 million? For that to be the case, and he got one-shotted? I'm sorry, that would mean that his power level was, like, at minimum, only about, say, 10,000. There's no way in hell Gohan got that weak. So his power level clearly had progressed well beyond that. Hell, his base form was able to keep up with a God-infused base form Goku. So the question is, how much did he really increase by? I think assuming that his base was still the same as it was, about 530,000, and these are arbitrary numbers, but this is just the generalization of where he probably was. Gohan's power was still probably in the couple billion area, at least. Even though he was far weaker than he let himself go, he was still probably in the low millions in terms of his power level, at least. So, if Frieza's able to one-shot him, that would put Frieza's power somewhere in the neighborhood of billions, the billion power level mark, which in theory means he pretty much, we times his base power by 2, that gives us, roughly speaking, 1 million, and then that's literally 1,000 times, that's 2,000, and then, so you're in theory looking at a progression level in base form alone of somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple thousand, like 4,000 to 6,000 at least. That might be pushing it a little bit, but let's get down to it. So we actually would start this off more where Grandpa Gohan is training Goku. Now, initially, he probably would struggle like he did originally. I'm sure he struggled against Gohan, but quickly he starts to progress further and further, and he quickly overtakes Gohan in terms of power, and unfortunately kills him as an Ozaru, all that. So where does that actually put Goku's power level when Bulma first meet him? Because in the original series, power level is only 10. But if he's progressed like Frieza that quickly, and still keeps training, let's be clear that he probably still does like his morning exercise and keeps training, so he probably keeps progressing on some level. So you're probably looking at a Goku whose power level is about maybe 250 at this point alone. So they have their fun and stuff like that. She shoots him. they have the incident where he takes her panties off. They go rescue Turtle. Roshi can get an idea of how strong Goku is. My, this boy, he's quite powerful indeed. The new generation takes the torch from the old. Oh, we better get back to the house, Roshi. The buyer will be soon. Oh, that's right. Ooh, we're gonna make up some cookies and brownies. Sell them to the buyer. The buyer's gonna be a little bit of a delay. Turns out pigs can't make brownies. Then they deal with the oolong thing. Basically, it all goes about to say up until the Yamcha thing happens. Now remember, Goku was hungry at that point, but he still actually was stronger than Yamcha. Implied stronger than Yamcha. I doubt Yamcha was that weak. Weird, isn't it? How Yamcha really was actually a decent fighter in Dragon Ball and actually a powerful combatant. Then Dragon Ball Z rolls around, trains one time before the Saiyans, like, I'm all tough, gets killed by a Silent Man. Oh, poor Yamcha. That's why you're the butt of the jokes, man. But even with his hunger level, even if it cut his power in half, that means his power is still at 225. That clearly puts him well and truly beyond Yamcha. So he actually does soundly beat Yamcha even hungry, although Yamcha gets a good couple of shots with a Wolf Fang Fist. Great name, by the way, for an attack, even if it became pretty useless later on. So then we just get to the rabbit. Nothing happens there. Then we get to the Fire Mountain-ish scenario. He meets Chi-Chi, they go get Roshi. Roshi does the Kamehameha. He tries the Kamehameha on the car, and unlike last time, it's still like a weak Kamehameha comparatively, but because he has much more power this time, he pretty much just blasts, just boom, blows up the car. It's like, oh, it'll take you 50 years to learn the Kamehameha. Oh, man. So that whole scenario happens. Then the Pilaf stuff happens. Now, again, Goku's power at the time was only 10. So there's a reason he couldn't get out of there. It's like his Kamehameha couldn't destroy the walls or anything like that. Couldn't break why didn't he shoot a Kamehameha at the glass, not the walls, but I digress. This time Goku I think would still be strong because he's still probably on the hungrier side. But his Kamehameha, again, even though it's a weak Kamehameha, it's enough, I think it would warp the walls. So he does it enough times, and I think he does eventually smash through the glass, so they do get out. Unfortunately, he does turn into Ozaru. That whole scenario goes down about the same. They get the tail off, along with the world's most comfortable pair of underwear. Goku goes and looks for Roshi, and he trains with Roshi. And now he does the Master Roshi training, and Roshi, seeing how strong he is, I think Roshi actually gets a little bit back into shape as well. I mean, yes, he's the old wise martial arts master. In terms of sheer skill, he far supersedes Goku overall, at least at this point. But he still realizes, like, oh man, I need to get more in shape. So Roshi would also be doing a little training of his own, getting his power back up to a more suitable level. Goku doing the training to push himself past his limits. Again, if we're talking about progression like Frieza, I'm going to be honest, doubling his power is nowhere near out of the realm of questioning. So we're going to say 500 right now. Like that might be like a lot, but remember, we're talking about a theoretical scenario where he progressed like Frieza, who just in the span of, I think, a year achieved God level power. So, yeah. So yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility that, say, within the months that he was spending with Roshi, the training to surpass his limits, double that power. That's pretty simple. Now, Roshi's probably sitting more like around where Goku was after really getting back into shape, kind of pushing himself again, about 250. Goku still really outclassed him in terms of raw power, but when you combine everything Roshi knows, skills, experience, everything along those lines, when you get to that final match in the tournament, him and Goku going at it, he recognizes Goku as the stronger and his youth is just that much better, but he's using his finesse, his skills, his actual martial arts prowess. Again, the Great Ape scenario happens. He blows up the moon. They go back at it again. I do think it's what allows Roshi to, again, win the fight as Jackie Chun. So we move into the Red Ribbon Army arc now. With this arc, Goku... Now, there wasn't much training going on with Goku. Now, he still gets like those minor Zenkai, sure, but there was nothing that was really... Because Zenkais hadn't existed at that point until Z. So we really can't give it... We can make the argument he's getting Zenkais. In fact, we can make the argument because that's where like some of the more progression comes from. So that's where the 500 currently is at. He's doing his thing. Da, 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 kicks most of the Red Ribbon Army's asses because at this point he's 500 and not even General Tao could match him. Although I do still think he goes up to Korn's tower. He does it pretty quick. And he doesn't get much of a boost from that, like let's say 550 on that one. Basically goes back down. General Tao tries to, beat him up, but ultimately he loses terribly. He'll turn into the cyborg. You get then the next World Martial Arts Tournament. He pretty soundly beat. There isn't much of a contest here this time around, except for the fact that here's the thing. Because Roshi won and because he doesn't want his student maybe to get like a big head or anything like that. Even though it can tell Goku, like people like Goku, Krillin, they're the next generation. He should still try to keep up with them. I think while Goku was gone, Roshi was continuing to train a little bit. Now he's not going to progress like Goku, but to get back into more like a true in shape fighting form, even for a guy his age, hitting about 350. He's definitely about half of what Goku's power is at this point. Or over half of Goku. So he actually beats Tien pretty soundly. Don't be wrong, Tien puts up a fantastic fight, but I think ultimately Roshi's the one who wins through, again, superior tactics, experience. You are a sleepy boy. Lightning surprise, electric attack. I gotta love Master Roshi. So I do think they through a beam strike, he actually knocks out Tien, and then it's Goku versus Roshi once again. This time, however, Roshi is stronger. Goku's had a lot of experience. Don't get me wrong, he's gotten a little stronger still because just through experience and Zenkais and stuff like that. So they're going back and forth again. Goku has tail. Luckily, there's no moon this time, and I think at this point they've learned that. I think even Goku's kind of picked up on that in some capacity. They're going back and forth. They struggle with the Kamehameha beam struggle. It's clear Goku's the stronger. Roshi then goes into buff form, which someone made a point of saying that, made a comment recently, that Roshi wasn't that strong. He, in the thousands in terms of his power, because otherwise he would have beat King Piccolo regardless. Here's the thing. Yes and no. In his standard form, even that mild muscle form he takes on, you're right. King Piccolo does beat him overall. It's when Roshi takes on that giant buff muscle form that his true power is unleashed. He just can't hold that form for very long due to his age. And I don't even think he could probably hold that form that long to begin with. But that's the deal. So Roshi goes into buff form, and Goku now he's pushing Goku's Kamehameha back. Goku's just, and he's just saying it again. It's like, what is he doing? He can't be. There's no way. He's already firing a Kamehameha. There's no way he can fire another one. And Goku just instinctively goes like this. Just pops his shoes off. We get the foot Kamehameha for the first time. Blows himself back with the foot Kamehameha while doing the other Kamehameha. He did it with his feet. And then they both collide. Boom. And they both get knocked out of the ring. So it's declared basically a draw until they can get some, video footage in there. And basically they review the footage. And they reveal that Roshi did, in fact, it's Goku landed, but Roshi landed second. So again, Roshi manages to win the martial arts tournament. Again, it's like, that was close. Oh my, got Goku. I didn't expect him to actually pull out one with his feet. So then basically they all go there. Goku's hungry, which is why he lost to Tambourine the first time. Finds Krillin dead, his best friend, so he just rages out. Him and Tambourine duke it out. He's hungry, but even him hungry, is maybe if it cuts his power in half, he's still about 275 in terms of his power. So he does beat Tambourine. But then he has to get some food. Then eventually him and King Piccolo square off. And he beats the living crap out of King Piccolo, whose power is only somewhere in the 200s. Goku is literally twice as strong as him, if not greater. So King Piccolo can't do anything against this guy. I will not let you win, boy. I am King Demon King Piccolo. You really think you can pull? And then Goku just, boom! You will not hurt anyone else. Oh God. And then just pops out the egg. Now, the question becomes, would Piccolo Jr., still be young from being popped out of old King Piccolo's mouth? I would say yes. Might not be as strong, but he'd still be young, because it's basically him spawning someone new. And then basically they're able to use the Dragon Balls to bring Krillin back and everyone he killed. Happy day. He does go up to Kami's per Korrin's request. And he sees him as like, Piccolo! It's like, no, young man. Now, Popo's power is so inconsistent. Like, what is it? Because we see him take on Goten and Trunks at one point, as Super Saiyan, and he's blocking them too. He is blocking Super Saiyan Kid, Goten, and Trunks, who are easily in the millions. So, what is Popo's power, man? At the same time, he's probably blocking Kid Goku. So they explain the scenario. Goku's like, oh, all right. It's like, and he trains with Kami and Popo for all these years. He does learn to sense energy thanks to the Ultra Divine Water. Cut to the World Martial Arts Tournament again. Roshi is again there, and this time, and he is the martial arts champ, so he does have to show up. So again, and Roshi figured, I can't get sloppy with these kids. It might be time to let him go, but I'll give him the fat of us. Now Roshi's power probably hasn't increased that much. Roshi's probably sitting at a solid 500 over the course of the years that Goku was gone. Which, again, that's a lot of training you'd have to put in, but he's Master Roshi. It's well within his reason. We're talking about the years that Goku was gone. He gave up his tail. He did give up his tail. And progressing like Frieza. $2,000. Let's just be nice and say $2,000. He quadrupled his power level. I think that's more than reasonable. Actually, no. You know what? I'll be honest. That sounds. When we're talking about progressing like Frieza, that sounds too low. I'm gonna do a big fat even number. What is it? Even number of $5,000. I think that's more than like. And I could have gone higher, but I think $5,000. Let's not overdo it right now with Goku. But he's like $5,000, so he shows up and pretty much sweeps the entire tournament. Roshi and him, they go at it, and Roshi totally loses. Jackie Chun loses. Piccolo tries all his tricks. He tries to take out Goku's arms at 5,000. He can't take on Goku. It goes giant. Goku just brings Kami back, beats the living crap out of Piccolo Jr. Enough said there. Chi-Chi and him are still going to get married. That whole thing happens the same as it did. So then we move on to, Dragon Ball is pretty much a sweep. By the way, it looks like I will be doing this in multiple parts because we're already at 17 minutes. We'll still go on for about another 8 minutes, but we're going to be putting in some multiple parts. So Goku basically, but Goku and Chi-Chi have Gohan. Now, something that I will address right now is not only this fact that Gohan is Saiyan hybrid, so he does have that power level like around 700 something, but because the whole progression thing is genetic from Frieza, or genetic, we're going to make the assumption that with Goku as well, it's genetic. So Gohan couldn't progress kind of like Frieza too. And you add on his Saiyan human hybrid biology, which allows him to progress even faster than a normal Saiyan as well, which they do comment on that. They address it a couple times that he is in theory stronger because he's a hybrid. That would lead Gohan to quite we'll get to that when we get to that. Problem with that right now is, though, Gohan is still the exact same Gohan he is in the canon. Now, all those years of training, let's remember where Goku was power level-wise. If we're talking about his actual full power level when like using the Kamehameha, his power is about he was able, because his power is about 260. So we're looking at an individual who was able to almost quadruple his power, about triple his power, give or take. It's about triple his power because you're looking at about 6. That's 7, 8. So it's almost quadruple it. Now Goku obviously isn't going to quadruple his power. It's going to go now. I know it sounds like I'm teeter-tottering here. It's because with this one, it's really kind of up in the air how powerful he could really get in a certain time frame. Assuming that he's doing the exact same training he did to almost quadruple his power the first time. If we go by Frieza level standards here in terms of how he progressed, we could easily multiply that by a factor of, let's say 15 times. 15 times, even I'll say 15 times a lot. Let's say 10 times. I think that is a reasonable number. So that means when Raditz comes around, Goku's power is already about 50 grand. So, he goes there and flying Nimbus. He's probably learned to fly at this point, too. But he's got the Nimbus. Nimbus. Oh, he's shy. Kakarot. But he keeps his power suppressed, too. Let's be clear about that. Like, when Raditz reads his power, he's probably reading about 1,000. Which is still, he's impressive. Kakarot, I see you grow quite formidable. But what's happened here? Why didn't you take over the planet like you were supposed to? I don't know who you are. Like, don't you know, Kakarot? I'm your brother, Raditz. Then basically you're part of the Saiyan race. Like, what? It's like, oh, don't worry, bro, Goku, I got this. By the by, I do think, like all the other characters, whenever Goku's that much stronger than all the other characters, I do think they try harder to get stronger. So, like, I'm just around 200, maybe 250. Krillin's about 300. Maybe Tien's about 400, give or take. So, I mean, they still get smacked out of my earth. It's like, how dare you? It's like, I'll be taking your son, Kakarot. And remember, we tried, I believe he elbowed him in the stomach. And then, poof, it's like, no, you won't. And then Rad just goes full skipping like a stone across the ocean. It's like, Bulma. It's like, Raditz, Bulma, Roshi, keep an eye on Gohan. By the by, Piccolo is nowhere near as strong as Goku, but he's probably, knowing how strong Goku was and how when he wants to put some serious training in, can easily multiply his power by factors of 8 or 10 at least. Piccolo's probably sitting at about 2,000. I'd say that. But so he theoretically could have taken out Raditz himself. So maybe 2,000 isn't the right amount of power level. Let's say he's also sitting around 1,000. I think that's a lot more reasonable. Because if at that point there'd be no reason for me to have this scenario because it would have killed Raditz. But yeah, it's still he's. Ooh, I got a tear in one of my good pairs of jeans. That's unfortunate. I gotta get some new pairs. I gotta get some new jeans anyway. So Raditz is pissed. Chris is like, "What was that? Kakarot's power level was 1,000. He shouldn't have been able to. He should have been powerful, but I'm clearly more powerful. Power's 1,500. I still outclass him. How did he stop my attack?" And then it's like, you are not hurting my friend. You are not taking my son. You're gonna leave my planet now, Raditz. Who do you think you are talking to, brother? I am your older brother. You really think just because your power level, you've increased your power level this high, you can take me on? And then he just powers up. It's like you don't know. You're the one who doesn't seem to understand, brother. And then he just powers and just powers up, and Raditz is picking up Scatter, and his Scatter breaks. Just still powering up about 50,000. And just lays waste to Raditz. But he's Goku. After he just beats the ever-loving crap out of him, and get out of here. Go to your ship, and basically finds Raditz's ship. Like, get in your ship and go home, and don't come back, Raditz. You'll be sorry, Kakarot. You'll be sorry about this. And then he gets out of there, and while he's just, boop, it's like, Frieza, Vegeta, Raditz. Did you hear that? Oh, yes, we did. Yeah. This is going to be fun. And that's where we're going to leave it off for now. Raditz and Vegeta and Nappa will be taking will be going into Earth after Raditz gets back and recovers. So, yeah, unfortunately, we have a Goku at 50,000. So that's not going to go so well for them. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know the review of it at some point. So I'll be back later with 2 Who Would Wins, and that'll be it for the day. And then I got Who Would Win tomorrow, Lanticore video on Tuesday, What If and Who Would Win on Wednesday. Gonna go see Beautiful Neighborhood on Thursday. Who Would Win on Friday. That's about it. I don't think I have any big plans for this week. This is just beginning of the week, is just a kind of standard week. The weekly or the monthly Who Would Win, though, will be up on Wednesday. That'll be that one. I already got one planned for tomorrow. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time. Later.